Everyone goes in the gym, everyone fixes their diet, but no one focuses on the number one killer of testosterone in men. It's not having a bad diet, it's not consuming seed oils, it's not going to the gym. It's actually just cortisol maxing. And what this means is stress, basically. You have chronically high stress, so you have chronically low testosterone, and this is how it works, unfortunately. I'm going to show you the causes of high cortisol and how to fix it as well, so you can identify what the problem is. And I'm going to give you the solution as well, because we don't want high cortisol for many reasons, but primarily focused on reasons for testosterone, because when cortisol is up, think of it as like a ceiling on testosterone. You can't have like 1200 tests if you're very, very stressed, or even you can't even have 800 tests if you're a really stressed out person. What are the causes of high stress? Obviously work. And I'm not saying, oh, quit your job, you're too stressed. No, it's the fact that of the environment that work puts us in. With work, we've got artificial lights, especially in office jobs. We're very sedentary, and we never get outside. What is this doing? Artificial lights, this is messing with your circadian rhythm. When your circadian rhythm's all misaligned, you're going to have high cortisol levels at the wrong time of day. The only time you want high cortisol is first thing in the morning and during exercise. That's it. Obviously, being sedentary is we're not getting outside and walking and allowing ourselves to reduce our stress levels. We're just sitting in front of a screen all day. Again, not getting out in nature is just going to make us more stressed compared to if we were out in nature. You lack stress tolerance is the next one. And what this means is basically you don't put minor stresses on yourself to allow yourself to become more stress resistant. For example, if you go to the gym and have cold showers and go in the sauna and things like that, and you don't overdo it, you can not blunt the cortisol response, but you can minimize it because you become more tolerant and resistant to stress. But if you don't do all of this and you still do all the 40, 50 hours a week at work, under lights, you don't get outside enough, you're not going to have much stress tolerance. You're just going to be very stressed all of the time. It's going to be chronically high. You don't walk, very important one for many other reasons outside of stress, but walking reduces your cortisol levels. Maybe you even do too much cardio, because high intensity cardio like running and where your heart rate's elevated for a long period of time, this is bad for our cortisol levels. Obviously, I've been on a run today, but I run like once or twice a week just because I enjoy it. From a testosterone standpoint, it's not really good at all. We want to walk more than anything. Maybe do cardio once or twice a week or 3 times a week, depending on what type of cardio it is. If you're doing a little bit after the gym, nothing too crazy, it's fine. But if you're like smashing 10 kilometers a day running, you're not going to hit 800, 1200 tests because your cortisol is just going to be too high. The next one is you overdo the caffeine. This is going to not be a great one for a lot of people. I've done this myself, where I used to chain drink 5 black coffees in the morning while I was working, but this is just sending your cortisol through the roof. You want to keep it to like 1 to 2 cups of coffee, and after an hour of waking, try and wait an hour after you've been awake. This is to match your natural cortisol rise and dip. And we also never really want to have it after 12 p.m, so lunchtime, because people will be having coffees at like 3 p.m. Mate, you've got to be in bed in 6 hours. You should not be having a coffee at 3 p.m. That is absolutely crazy. It just disturbs our sleep, which again, if we disturb our sleep, we're going to have high cortisol levels naturally. That's the last one for this point, is sleep. If you have bad sleep, you're getting 6 hours, 5-6 hours of low quality sleep, your cortisol levels are naturally going to be high. This is a massive one. So we'll start off with the biggest fix for high cortisol is fixing your sleep. Sleep plays a role in all of your hormones. Your entire endocrine system relies heavily upon your sleep, because most people don't realize all of your hormones are produced primarily during your sleep. We need to be getting 8+ hours a night, consistent schedule, high quality sleep, doing magnesium glycinate, glycine, optimizing our sleep environment for a pitch black, cold, dark and quiet room, so we can have a nice deep sleep. We want to get movement during the day. Not too much movement, nothing crazy. I'm not saying go and run 20 miles a day. This is going to be awful for our cortisol and our testosterone. We want to, get out and walk. Like I say, 5 to 15,000 steps a day. Very, very good. If we're getting out in nature, getting light in our eyes, and walking as well to lower our cortisol levels naturally. We can do cold and heat exposure 2 to 3 times a week. This is an interesting tool for stress, because again, it's stress tolerance. And if you don't overdo it, maybe you'll have some cold showers in the morning and you do a sauna 2 or 3 times a week, and you don't spend an hour and a half total in the sauna. It's going to be good for your cortisol levels. But again, like everything, you overdo it, it's going to have the inverse effect. We obviously want no caffeine after 12 p.m. We don't want to do a ridiculous amount of Coffee, especially like later in the afternoon, this is going to be absolutely horrendous for your stress levels. We can do breathing exercises like deep breaths, especially after workouts. This is good. Meditation is good as well. This is a short-term tool, this next one, but ashwagandha I think is good if you're really stressed and you want to reduce your stress levels. I would take this for maybe 6 weeks while you're trying to fix the root cause. If it's you're not moving enough and your sleep is terrible, fix that and take ashwagandha during that period of time to get your stress levels down. But this isn't something you really want to do forever, to be honest. It's an adaptogen, it lowers your cortisol quite aggressively, but some people also have problems with it as well. Experiment at your own risk. I am not a doctor, this is not medical advice, etc, etc. You want to minimize your time on social media. Social media is pretty toxic. I think the algorithms have definitely changed as well. If I ever do go on there and I look at my feed, it just seems to be like left versus right political arguments that I'm not interested in. So I don't really use it that much. I use it to create, I use it to post, I use it to educate and build my own brand and help other people. But unfortunately, there's a lot of negativity on social media. So a lot of people are better off avoiding it, because you will see things or comments and things like that. Just an unnecessary loss of energy that you don't need to experience. Knock it down to an hour a day, unless obviously you do it for work like I do. So I sadly don't have much choice. And the last point is you need to get some sun. Obviously in the UK it's a bit of a nightmare at the moment, but even light in your eyes, by getting out and walking, getting light in your eyes, if you're lucky enough to have somewhere you live, brilliant, because it will reduce your cortisol, reduce your stress, increase your testosterone, and that is what you've got to do to fix your stress. Obviously you don't have to do absolutely everything, but you have to do the sleep, you have to move. This is optional, this isn't optional. Breathing and meditation is optional, but it's very helpful if you're someone who is very stressed. Ashwagandha is optional. Social media is half optional, but it's very helpful. Sun is also probably not optional, to be honest, because it's such a great reductor of stress. But you need to reduce your cortisol if you want to hit this beautiful 800 to 1200 nanograms per deciliter range, which is where all men up to 50 should be aiming to be. And you can do that with the right system when you focus on your blood work, focus on deficiencies, and you've got an entire roadmap to follow. You can do it in 90 days, and that is exactly what I teach guys inside of the High Testosterone Blueprint or in my one-to-one coaching program. If you want to work with me one-to-one to take your testosterone, your health and fitness to the next level, there's going to be a link in the description for that. And there's also going to be a link for the High Testosterone Blueprint as well, which is just the complete roadmap to getting high tests. But apart from that, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found some value from it, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.